Bonjour.
Namaste.
Okay, that's two different ways to greet.
I said namaste to the guy in the corner shop the other day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was a bit compromised.
you were compromised.
I was compromised.
Well, what's new there?
But everyone in there at that hour is more compromised. Even whatever is up with me, those drunks are way more disruptive. He really respects me. He really likes me.
How do you know that?
Because I see him on the street and he kind of he blocks my way. You know the way you do.
What, he pushes people out of the way so you can walk by?
He actually blocked me walking, and he did that thing he was squaring up, as in going.
Like he was going to hit you.
Kind of, but as in, the way you would, because I was in my own world. And then he was he grabbed me and he was like, "Yeah, buddy." So we're friends.
So you've done something in that store.
No. Yeah, I've been in that store fucked up a load of times, but I'm always cordial.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with.
I told you I was trying to tap my money. Remember, I went there with cash last week,
and you were trying to.
I was trying to tap the money where the card was, and he was like, "No, my friend," and I was like, "Namaste," and I think he's Persian, so that makes no sense.
Okay, yeah, no, it's always important, and I know that they don't call them this here, but the bodega people in New York, the bodega guys.
That's their version here, isn't it? The corner shop man.
Corner shop man. Yeah, it's it's very important.
Some people call it Paki shop.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but they're not all They're not all Pakistanis.
Yeah, well, obviously. So, yeah, so actually, when I've always had a pretty good relationship with my bodega guys. Like the one that I'd say the best.
Where were they from? Afghan.
Yeah, I mean all over. I wish I could. I was too drunk and I wasn't paying attention with my favorite guys, but
they're always Middle Eastern, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or Indian.
Yeah. And no, the guys, from my recollection, were mostly Middle Eastern. But the one on Church Avenue, that was where I lived predominantly, when I was in college. And those guys, when I turned 21. So it's what's hilarious is we're buying beer there.
Yeah.
But then on my 21st birthday, I actually still have it. It was one of the things, thank God, that got saved out of my apartment. I would always go there. I'd order sandwiches, whatever, I said hello to everybody. We would have a chat. They would talk about how they were going home for a little while. So it was it was weird. They were in a weird rotation of flying back to where they lived to spend time with their family. And then another guy would fly out.
Oh, interesting.
It was really interesting, yeah.
That's kind of how 9/11 happened, I think.
Okay. And, but on my 21st birthday, I was like, it's my 21st birthday. And they were like, hooray. And, I ordered a sandwich.
They weren't but we've been breaking the law the whole time, you dumb bitch.
No, oddly enough, not.
They don't care.
No, it depends. It depends on the bodega. But they drew me, the guy who made my sandwich that night, drew a little picture on my sandwich wrapper, a little cake, and it says 21 and happy birthday, and he drew little balloons and shit, and I saved it forever because I'm a hoarder, but also because it kindled my heart. It was nice. And when I moved, it was sad. I actually felt really sad to say goodbye to them because they saw me through a lot, and in forms.
It was a 24-hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best thing. This one, what's this one? On the weekends, I think it's 2 or 3.
Well, there was this, I will say, there was this one that I lived by on 25th and 2nd, and they were motherfuckers there. They were not our friends, and we didn't have fake IDs for a minute, so we could never buy beer there. But our friend Derek, who was over 21, my gay Derek, shout out to Derek, he would he lost his wallet, so he didn't have an ID. So he'd go in there and he'd be like, "I'm 25," and they would be like, "No." And I remember him coming back being like, "That place is the bane of my existence," because aside from that one, you had to walk 3 more blocks to
Oh, how far?
Well,
cardio.
Fuck, it's right there. Yeah, okay, but in the middle of a snowstorm, and you just want your tall or 40s of Old English.
If I can't get a beer at 12 or 1 here during the week, I can't get one, really. I mean, I have to walk far. There is places. In Ireland, after 10, you have to go to a bar or else you're not getting any more booze.
Yeah,
that's totalitarian.
I used to think that, well, it did actually. I don't know if you remember when I was in a one of my many dark states that you've witnessed during the course of our
Oh,
relationship.
one of your dark states. No,
Yeah.
tell me more.
But
it's not familiar at all.
I was like, this is in New York. Nothing in New York closes. How dare this place? How dare it? How dare they close? I can't buy a sandwich at any hour. Like, I'm leaving. Like, I remember I was freaking out. But now I'm kind of like into it. After going to New York.
No, you can still get stuff if you really want it, though. Later.
Yeah.
You just have to walk towards the center a bit more.
Yeah, but like, I guess what I'm saying is like, I don't know. I just got back from New York, and being ripped away from its clutches, and then getting to sort of come back with a new vantage point. I'm like, holy shit! How does anybody fucking do anything there?
Why? Because it's more hectic than here.
It's out of control, and I don't know if it's.
You have very New York energy. You would admit that yourself. It's very jarring, you know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think, well, it's funny because I went back and some comics that I used to hang out with a lot that I really like, they were like, you seem way more grounded.
Really? What?
I know.
What? How fucked up are they?
I don't. Well, that's what I mean. And I'm like, really? And they were like, yeah, you seem really.
What, more relaxed?
Yeah. And I seem more like, yeah, grounded, I think.
It's all the Eastern philosophy shit.
Well, but I was like, I guess by comparison to the person that I was when I was living there, probably. Although, like, of course, I feel like I'm losing my mind. It's just like we're on the edge at any moment of every day. But yeah, like I was like walking around. First of all, I was walking in Williamsburg, which I don't even like. But
that's where the Jews live.
The Jews do live in Williamsburg, yeah. And I was actually passing like hordes of Hasidic Jews. And
do they have bodegas?
They have their own shops, sure.
Sandwiches aren't that good, I bet you. They're very Jewy.
I've never ordered one from there.
Why'd you get
chewy. What the fuck does that mean?
No, chewy, I said. Chewy. What the fuck are you? What are you hearing?
Okay, okay.
You're hearing whatever's going on in your head.
No, don't do that to me.
Don't not do that in my head.
I'm so on the edge. I can speak tongues now. So don't you fucking.
You wouldn't go to a Jewish deli and not order a sandwich.
Not that I wouldn't, but I never did.
It's not a thing, is it? Except for them.
I've been in a Jewish bodega before. I do remember I went to one. I didn't realize it was one until I went in there, and then I kind of realized very quickly there wasn't anything there for me.
No pork, obviously. I mean, that's obvious.
They weren't making sandwiches.
They don't do sandwiches, yeah. They don't do sandwiches here, which is a big letdown.
That is, if somebody flipped the sandwich switch here, I think it'd be a game changer.
In Ireland, you can get hot chicken rolls in every shop. We got at our bodegas, you get a fucking hot chicken roll, and you put cheese and onion and lettuce and mayonnaise on it, and then the cheese melts into the chicken. You cut it in half. It's like kind of like a French baguette with chicken in it. It's very working class, very lovely.
Yeah.
And then you can put whatever you want. You can get coleslaw in there. Every shop has a little sandwich section. Everyone uses it.
Can you put human shit in there?
No, we're not.
You just said I could put whatever I wanted in there. You said I could put whatever I wanted in there.
I mean, if you bring a gun in and your own shit, you can do whatever you want.
What if I want it to be somebody else's shit? I want the finer thing.
You point a gun to the fucking deli sandwich maker.
Put it in my sandwich.
Shit in my sandwich.
Do it now.
I'll kill everyone in here. No, they are good, and the food in Ireland's better. Like the sandwiches and everything is better. Like I just realized when I got back.
Well, see, that's the thing is that I realized when
they sell soup in the supermarket, fresh soup. And you can get a cup of it.
That's pretty cool.
And it's yum.
What, you want to move? You want to move to Ireland?
No, fuck that shit.
No, okay.
But the supermarket's better.
The soup or market.
Shut the fuck up.
And well, that's the thing. So I was like, I'm hitting up all my spots in New York. Like I gotta.
Yeah, for food.
Yeah.
Hitting off your spots so you can expand yourself, like.
So I can literally have diarrhea. That's what happened. I had no idea. So I guess like when you're living off of food that isn't pumped with like, I guess hormones or whatever the shit, preservatives, all of that. Like I didn't realize how quickly eating food that is like that was gonna like affect my system. But like there was a night I went out to dinner at what time did we go to dinner? 1 a.m. in New York. So I was like, it's 1 a.m. We're going to eat. And I felt like my stomach was stabbing me from the inside out. I had to look up.
What did you go and eat? Chinese food?
No, I was eating a salad so incidentally, I was going to this we went to this place called Cafeteria where two people that I used to live with both worked.
So you were going there for a discount?
It was no, they used to work there. It was over 10 years ago. But it was like this hip joint like in Chelsea. It's like a gay, like restaurant, but like celebrities go there and shit like that. Like when we got there at 1 a.m., there's two like impeccably dressed twinks at the podium. Like, how many people? We only have outdoor seating.
Fuck
and you're
me
like,
in the ass.
And you're like, it's 1 a.m., and they like he's wearing like a full like leather trench coat or something. And I'm like, you look amazing. I mean, it's just obviously, and you're like a hostess basically. So
moving here has improved your diet, you're thinking?
The quality. Okay.
So the quality of the food here is better in America, but for me, I've moved to a place with worse quality food for sure.
Okay.
Australia had great food.
Australia has the best food.
Yeah.
I remember there was a comedian that I got into an argument with. He's from Australia, and I was like, New York's better. And he was like, no, go to Australia. And he was right.
I'm not in terms of taste. I'm talking in terms of actual quality.
Of food.
Like,
yes, exactly.
I bet you the food in America is tastier. It's got the best fast food.
Yeah, I was just swallowing sandwiches whole left and right. I had 3 chopped cheese the whole time. I'm just like, I'm literally unhinging my jaw and then throwing the sandwich into my mouth and just processing it.
Like fucking, why don't you just jaw? It's an anaconda.
An anaconda.
Or a fat whore.
Okay. One and the same. But then, yeah, I was at dinner with my friend. I was trying to pay attention. And then I had to take the subway home, which, been there, done that. But like, I'm like, oh yeah, this shit doesn't run. Like you pay your money, you wait 45 minutes for it, then you get on it, and then it just doesn't move. And then you just sit there. And then it slowly claws its way into every train station. And like 2 days later, you're at your destination. So when I got there, I had to like look up like how to release gas. And I was like writhing around on my friend's floor, like just trying, because it was like trapped inside of me.
Too far.
Yeah, I couldn't. Like, dude, the food fucked me up. My delicious
what you do is like
betrayed me.
A knitting needle up your asshole or something to like.
Yeah, I put a needle in my asshole
open a little.
To open. Yeah.
Like to deflate a balloon.
That's
you know
why
what I mean?
I'm still bleeding everywhere. Scabby, very scabby.
Don't be disgusting.
Don't be disgusting. So, yeah. So the food is wild, delicious, but it's more expensive there now. So now I don't feel like London's that expensive. I thought London was more expensive, but New York is more expensive now. The subway doesn't run. There are people everywhere, and that's cool. That's actually the coolest part is like everybody's on their hustle and like does not give a shit, and everyone's a fucking lunatic. So that's great to watch. But there's trash everywhere. And I didn't notice that when I was living there. I was like, oh yeah, that's built on trash. Like that's how you get to build more condos in the city is like the trash like corrodes on the corners near the ocean. And then, more land is made and then condos, that's New York.
Is that actually what happened?
No, but yeah, I'm a fucking scientist. No, but, and then I was saying to my friend who I had dinner with, he was like, it's actually cleaner now than when you left because of how many people left the city. And I was like, it doesn't seem less crowded. It doesn't seem cleaner. It seems more unhinged, but in this way that I genuinely did kind of feel like, oh no, sometimes. Like maybe this isn't safe. So yeah, with fresh eyes, I would have never left had I not been, physically ripped away from there, separated by a global pandemic. I think like, we would have definitely been in this realm of like, I'm going to New York for a month or 2 months or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, you're going to go back more often.
Yeah, I'm going to go back. But I mean, like, I would have had an apartment. You know what I mean? It would have been this whole fucking thing. And now I'm like, well, I can see it. And I'm like, yo, it's not easy there. Like my friend, hilarious comedian, you met her, Jordan Klein.
Yes.
She's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
But she was like telling me like she's like, my super stole my motorbike. And I'm like, that is insane. Like, how is that?
Building owner.
The super of the building. And I asked her because I was like hanging out with her and she was telling me some crazy shit that apparently he was like being fired and evicted, because he might be on crack or something. And I was like, oh, damn. But like, I asked her, how that shit was going. And, I was like, sorry I haven't checked in. I hope everything's okay. And what did she say? I'm looking it up really quick because it's very funny to me. Because this is like normal shit. I told her to write a joke about this. But she said, I was like, I hope everything is, going okay in your apartment, or at least that it's like hilarious so you can like write a bit, right? Because she came up with a very funny premise about how just trying to rent an apartment in New York. And she said, "Oh, laugh my ass off. He broke in and started the bathroom on fire and then took a shit on the floor. The police kicked down his door. Nothing too crazy." Like,
what? That's the guy who works in the building.
That's the superintendent. That's the guy you call when you're like, my sink's clogged. You know, I need somebody to fix it.
I think he's going through some issues.
Well, aren't we all? You know, the world, right? So, anyway, my point is New York is amazing, but I guess
it's more homeless there, isn't there?
There seem to be a lot more homeless there than when I left.
Yeah.
And like not
due to the pandemic.
I mean, I would guess so. Sort of unfortunate.
Are you allowed to feed them there, or is
Are you allowed to feed them? What? It's not birds in them.
Oh.
It's just
you don't even see them here. Honestly.
You don't. No.
They're in Victoria.
Oh, I guess by Earl's Court.
And Earl's Court, but they're not. There's not masses of them.
Yeah, well, San Francisco's the worst. That's one city I don't want to fuck with.
Yeah, I think there it's after going crazy.
Yeah, actually, speaking of homeless people, where my mom lives in Sacramento, that is some
crazy there. That's a small town, though, isn't it?
It's not that small. It's small-ish, but like not really. And
is it smaller than Cork? What's the population?
I have no fucking idea.
500,000 probably or something.
I don't know. You want me to Google it?
Yeah, Google it quickly because it's the capital of California. So
it is the capital of California.
It probably has.
Population.
I'm going to guess 2.3 million. I'm actually pretty good at this, so.
Okay. Yeah, you are? Okay, is that your final answer?
Yes. Yes.
500,000.
Yeah, I mean in the greater, I'm in the county. Look, check the county.
Sacramento.
City and county.
Population.
Yeah, I didn't mean the city limits. I would have said half of it.
Okay, what's your final answer?
2.
2?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
1.5 million.
So I'm pretty close.
Well, you're about 500,000 off, but
yeah, I know, but I'm pretty close.
Okay, whatever you need.
All right. Well, so there's a new population of homeless there.
Well, my friend Luke had told me about it because he likes to go to the river and he gets very protective of the river. Fair enough, because he's like, I like to get in the river. Children play in the river. This is a place. It's nature. Sacred, you know? My dog play, like, whatever.
So he doesn't want any smellies down there.
Well, apparently homeless camps are setting up, and then needles are floating around and everything, and then he becomes furious. So he's...
You got to think, though, that nomadic lifestyle must be kind of fun.
I don't know. It doesn't look like fun to me. I mean,
you spend all day just trying to get drugs, and you get the drugs, you kind of party.
No, that makes me just feel bad.
And then next to the river, then you can have a wash.
A wash.
If anything, it's like a rap party with a pool party.
That's what I mean. It's covered. Everything's covered in human shit like that.
I bet that gets you get used.
You bet that you get used to that. Okay,
yeah.
Give me a fucking. You didn't even want me to have it in my sandwich, and now you're like, oh, we'll get used to it. Like, no, it's all over the place. You're stepping in it. Have you ever stepped in human shit? It's different than stepping in dog shit.
I've seen human shit. Like I used to work in Victoria. I used to see a lot of homeless, very very smelly, just fucked up ones. But the ones I've seen in America are the worst. No, Vancouver, downtown east side.
What does that mean?
There's levels to homelessness. There's also like fucking crusty punks that are like fucking mom and dad's kids that are just
love it.
Literally just do it because
who love it.
Yeah, they don't need to be there.
I know a few people like that. I
remember seeing them in Vancouver. They're in one part, and then you move further down to the lower east side, and it becomes a circus of horrors. It is mental hospital shit. Because they closed some mental institution and they just never addressed it. So they left them all going to the wild. And then in the wild, they had kids. And imagine how fucking crazy those kids are.
Yeah.
There was some like disabled fucking... There's one that looked like a dinosaur that its arms were all twisted and it would just go around like barking. It was like... and it was wearing a dress.
Wait,
like I don't know if it was a man.
Show? Barking for a comedy show?
No, barking like it's going... It was very disturbing.
That's
I remember just thinking it was very disturbing. I remember that was like the thing about Vancouver that was like very... No one really wanted to address the fact that your one little part of your city is completely fucked up. Really fucked up.
Well, isn't that, society as a whole?
Not in Canada.
No, I'm saying like not wanting to address.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like just in this intersection, basically this green intersection, like across from, I want to say California State, whatever. It's just tense. People are living in them, and like
weather's there is good though, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't get too cold, but I mean, that's the thing. It's
That's
like,
the reason why everyone moves down to California.
They've left San Francisco, is what I mean.
Because it's colder there?
I think it does get a bit cold, but also I think it's, I don't know, it's weird. Apparently what's happened is San Francisco's expensive during the pandemic. Everybody moved to Sacramento, including the homeless. So now Sacramento's expensive, which is insane to me because like I personally, it would be my personal hell to live in I was there. I was looking at stuff. I was like, okay, it's nice and it's pretty and the weather's okay and whatever, and you have everything you need. But it's truly, and I don't know if it's just because I had a traumatic upbringing in that town, but I was like, when I was there looking for a souvenir to bring back for you, I was like,
you should run it back. A
hate
homeless
this place.
Baby. A stuffed homeless baby.
A stuffed homeless baby.
Yeah.
Well, they're not currently selling those in the
I
souvenir
bet
shops.
you if you gave a homeless guy 20, he'd get you one.
Well, next time, I guess.
If I was homeless, I'd go to San Diego.
San Diego.
Because it's fucking warm. I'd just be like, I would just wear just like tidy whities.
Okay.
That's it, and I just walk around like that, just looking for beer. That'd be an alright existence.
Well,
Then I guess what you do, you just like sell poetry or something.
Taoist, I guess.
I'd sit down and sell poetry to tourists.
You would write me a poem right now. If this is gonna be what
I'm homeless. It sucks. Buy me beer, you cheap fucks. Boom! There's $1 right there.
Just $1. My God, I'd 100.
I know, but I have that poem like 50 or 60 times. No, the thing with homeless people, they have to be charismatic. That's why a lot of them are very charismatic. That's how they make their change. You know.
Being charismatic.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, it is kind of like stand up. You got to win over your audience.
Sometimes you just need a good sign.
A good sign, yeah. I mean, but everyone's looking at their phone these days, you know. So I could just Google a better sign.
Google a better sign.
Yeah, it's like his sign's funny, but I bet you there's a homeless man in China with a better sign.
I bet I could see this better for free on Google.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, there's a whole subculture. I used to live with homeless people. Not live with them, but it was in a squat, and there is a subculture. Like they do look out for each other as well as fuck each other over majorly. But there is this whole weird bartering, trading, doing favors for each other kind of thing that you wouldn't even understand as a non-homeless.
No, that makes sense. I mean, any type of community that is built within society usually has something.
There was this like homeless queen. She was like the queen of the homeless that everyone looked up to. She was just like this old lady. It was weird.
What did you call me?
Yeah, like no, she was like, you know, she was just like a ragged old lady that was like fucking all the homeless people would do favors for, but she was like the queen of the homeless. So you would like, you know, you evolve. It's like royalty, I guess. Depends how long you've been on the street. I get you. Newbies are just like, you know. That
doesn't sound for me like a direction I'm interested in going.
I know if you're thinking about writing a book or something, you know.
Oh, so you have to go manufacture?
You have to manufacture a couple of chapters.
Well, I don't know that many people who
people are always manufacturing their own struggle. That's what
enough.
That's what the culture is based on these days.
Fair enough.
The tougher you had it,
yeah.
The more interesting you are.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know why, because
if I ever see someone in a wheelchair, I'm like, can you like not be so like, okay, we get it, like stop like wheeling so slowly in front of me. Do you ever think like that when you're going to the tube station? There's someone in a wheelchair blocking it up for everyone.
No, I haven't thought of it like that, but I have thought like, oh God, a wheelchair. You know, this is gonna take a while. I shouldn't be thinking that because they're in a wheelchair. I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
And then I just turn around and go home. I just don't even go to where I'm going.
Yeah.
It's
like when there's like a comic that has a stutter and they start bombing, and you're like, you're bombing and you have a stutter. Oh my God, because you know sometimes a stutter is the joke. But then, you know, when you know, every scene has a stutterer.
Is that a fact? I haven't.
No, not in London. I haven't seen one. Oh my God, I should get a stutter.
There you go.
I would jump so far up the fucking ranks quickly if I had a stutter.
Yeah,
and I used to have one. I can get it back.
I
can definitely get it back.
I before I knew it was a joke, but honestly, I think it's time to advocate. You need to change your gender immediately. I don't want to, you know, here's the thing. I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, but there was a show. Should we talk about this?
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, this podcast isn't that big.
Well, that big.
If this podcast got back to those people, then we're doing way better than we thought.
Well, I know, but I mean, this is the thing. This is what I'm gonna say. You know, because everybody's got their voice and their piece and whatever. But like, you know, I was gonna do a show. I was told there was a dropout. I was asked to suggest someone, and the show, the lineup had 2 men and 3 women, including myself on it. And one of the people who dropped out was a woman. So I was like, well, Mark is available tonight. And, you know, the booker had seen you before and you are funny.
Nepotism, though.
Well, you know, you're asking me if I know somebody available last minute, and I knew you were available last minute. So it's kind of like, why don't you just book the funny person?
You don't even have to go online. I'm just shitting with the door open across the way.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, you have a funny person that you can just book right now, you know? And I was like, he's not a woman, but he is available. And, you know, the response was like that the booker wanted to find a woman. And I'm like, all right, you know, fair enough. But I was kind of like, I hope she's funny. Because I'm like, you know, I've done gigs there. There are funny people. There are not funny people. It's, you know, it's comedy, right? But I was just sort of like, I was personally irritated because I was like looking at it and I'm like, you already have 2 women on your lineup. You got 2 men on your lineup. Why not book another guy? You don't have a white Irish guy tonight, so, you know.
There's a lot of them. That's a pity.
No, but there was no white Irish guy on the lineup. So you can book a white Irish guy. You know, the other guy is mixed race, and then you got, you know, the booker and whatever. And then you had a white female comic, and then me, another white female comic from America. So it's like, I don't know, it's pretty, you got something going on. So he books like a white Irish girl, and I'm like, all right, fine, you know, and whatever. She's nice. It was fine. But what ended up being hilarious to me, because I'm like, okay, like, you know, he was like, I got this woman, and I'm like, great, okay. But I was a little too irritated about it. I mean, I didn't like express this, but because I was just like, this is just sort of bullshit, because the lineup would have been plenty, I don't know, quote unquote diverse if you had been there. But now you just got 3 white ladies with different perspectives, I guess. But not really, because the woman he booked did a joke about how she broke her vibrator in lockdown, you know, because lockdown, you're overusing it, right? That's the joke. And then the woman who was closing mentioned how much she liked her joke, and then did her joke about breaking her vibrator while in lockdown because she used it too much. And both of them are like perpetually single or whatever. And it's like, that's fine. Like, I'm not, you know, that's the material. But I'm just sitting here and I'm like, in the effort to diversify the show, what you did was book 2 people who have a similar joke, and because there were 2 shows back to back and I was hosting both of them, I was able to see that neither of them if they had more jokes, neither of them decided to use them because they knew the other one had a similar joke.
I would have switched it up big time. I would have said
Of course.
Yeah.
Because that's what you fucking do.
I would have said I would have punctured my sex doll using it too much.
There you go. Fine. Perfect. So nothing.
I would have fit right in with the same shit.
But I guess I'm sitting here and I'm just sort of like, okay, like I'm not knocking, you know, whatever. I mean, you got the same jokes. It's fine. Who cares? Like, whatever. That's what you want to talk about. That's what you want to talk. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck is this then? Like, what is this idea that we are booking diversity? Because that wasn't diverse. It was 2 of the same thing, basically, in different ways. And in the spirit of booking more women, but it's like, frankly, if the women are too closely related in material, then there's no point, in my opinion. It's like, book something else so the audience gets to see something else, gets to really see the spectrum of what, you know, is being offered from UK comedians. I think, you know, I mean, whatever. Does the audience give a shit? Do they even know? Do they care?
I don't think the audience cares.
Well, you know, I don't know. It was like as me.
I think they care when there's no women on the show. That's it.
Well, for me, and as a woman,
or they might care when there's no black people in the show. Maybe if there's like black people in the audience, maybe. But other than that, I don't think they care too much. They don't need to see one of every type of person. Like.
Okay, but do you want to see the same joke twice?
No, of course not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, That is what happened. That is what I saw. And then there's an opportunity to switch it up. And I'm not shitting on these people because it's like, whatever, that's what they're doing right now. And that's fine, you know? But I'm just like, in my mind, like, it's like, oh, fuck, somebody, like, I mean, I fucking did a show. I did a show. And I was working on this sort of idea, like, you know, that one of the reasons I quit drinking was because I was tired of waking up in the morning to an investigation. Like, I was in an episode of Law and Order. It's not the most amazing, you know, concept, but, you know, I kind of have this funny little act out I was working on, whatever. I was going to do it, but then the host did a joke about waking up in the morning after a night of heavy drinking, like being in the middle of a film noir, which was kind of like a similar concept. So all I said to him, I was like, hey, I just want you to know, should you ever hear me do this, that I have a bit like this. And he was like, oh, well, you're not going to do it now. And I was like, of course not. Of course I would not do it now because you just did that. So I'm going to do something else because otherwise you're telling the same fucking joke. And I guess that's just in my mind when you're a comedian, even if you're like working on something, whatever, you're like, oh, fuck, that's a similar thing. I'm doing something else. Okay, no big deal. But I'm kind of like, I think what is overshadowing just having a good show or whatever in terms of like the booker is like, oh, well, let me really... I don't know, girl power. I don't know what it is, but it didn't feel like girl power to me. What it felt like is I'm listening to the same thing twice.
Yeah, I mean, comedy's gay, but it's always going to be gay. So it's kind of...
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. We're just talking about it. I mean, fuck me. Like, I don't know.
It's still fun.
You're the one who didn't get to do comedy that night in lieu of
I
that.
know.
So where's... I'm not even angry anymore.
I prayed to Bill Cosby, and I got a spot the next night. So you just got to say your prayers to the comedy god.
To Cosby. Okay.
Oh, he's still alive. Bill Hicks. Okay.
Okay, they're very different, but
we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying be outraged. You know, having anger in our hearts doesn't get anywhere, but it is something that I don't know. I'm happy to talk about in this realm because it's like, you know, we're trying to give the audience a good show. We're trying to this, that, and the other, but like. You know, sometimes when, I don't want to say, what is it? What were they calling it? When you kind of like gesture, but it's like a meaningless gesture?
Not flex. Not a meaningless gesture.
I don't even know. There's a word for it. There's a whole word for it. When you're kind of like pretending you're the
virtue
thing.
signaling?
Virtue signaling.
There's another word as well. I can't remember.
I'm
my
not
language
saying,
has gone bad. I'm reading a lot of books, but my language is going bad again.
I just think, you know, I don't know. It's disappointing to me as somebody who's a comedian. I'm like, you know, you kind of want to see like a really great show, and this show was fine, and both of those women would be great.
I could have bombed though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess I'm just saying, at least you're gonna bomb with something that
is different.
Isn't, or yeah,
I
like,
don't know.
And I guess
I broke my dildo, but it was in my ass.
Well, that is different.
It is different.
That is different.
It's always funnier if something's in someone's ass than their vagina.
True. And I will say, you know, like...
Because stuff's not meant to be up your ass. That's the thing. Yeah. If we know anything about what Jesus taught us, it's like, you're not meant to.
And I'm not... I want to be clear. I'm not knocking these people. I just think, like, you know...
Anyway, I think I ruined the show last night, so maybe it was better I didn't go.
Oh, I'm not listening to this again.
No, I think that I was doing really good, but I just didn't finish right and changed the energy, and then it didn't really pick back up.
Yeah, but it's the host's job to reset it.
Yeah, but I think he was after he was tuckering himself out. He was very funny off the top for a while. I think he was actually exhausted.
Yeah, but
plus you got to get out of there at some time. So,
but
you know what I mean?
It's not. Again,
this is only my perception as well.
I don't know. You know,
the rest of the show could have been great. It definitely wasn't a bad show at all.
That is your perception. I mean,
I just think of it. I just think myself maybe that I kind of.
Okay, but then this is my question here.
Slowed the momentum.
Okay, fine. Were you paid to do that show?
With laughter and applause.
Okay, so the answer is no. You were not paid in a currency.
Spiritually, I was filled up.
So you worked on what you wanted to work on. If you're not being paid at this point, there's a certain point where it's like, know your worth. If you're not being paid, then it's not your job to carry a show, especially. This is somewhere I'm like graduating to, because like there was this show that I kind of tried to cancel, but I had asked for the spot, and it's not, you know, it's fine, and I'm appreciative of the stage time, but I had to open because I had to close somewhere else. And, you know, I was like, I can get up here and do my jokes that I already know work, that I don't want to work on because they've been worked on right now enough, and I don't have anything new to add. So there's no reason for me to do them. Or I could do my new jokes that I know I shouldn't do during an opening set because it's a lot, because it's a dog fucking mental health bit or whatever. But I'm going to do it anyway because if I don't, then why the fuck am I even here right now? So I got up there and bombed for 10 minutes because, you know, they weren't warmed up really enough and they weren't really ready for that. And that's not what you should do for a 10-minute opening spot. But that's what I did. And, you know, and then and I could be projecting, but I felt my peers kind of be like, you know, and it's like, but what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not being paid. Like, I want to work on my jokes. The idea is if I can get this to work as an opening bit, wouldn't that be something, you know? So why is the onus on you? You know, like, you didn't ruin the show. You did what you needed to do. You weren't paid to do it. Like, so you're there doing your job. You showed up. You were funny, you know? At least you tried to be. I mean, you showed up with written jokes. So
Dave Chappelle got paid $22 million to make fun of trannies.
That's amazing. God.
Oh, not trannies.
I would
trans.
love, like,
my brother.
Sorry, I missed that because I was just like 22 million. I would take like 10,000 of that and be happy. I didn't watch it. I don't know what's going on.
I wonder if someone going to pay some drag queen $20 million to say the N-word. You know, as the reverse of it.
The drag queens are not.
Okay, I'm sorry. I do know this. I do know this as well. I'm not even acting stupid.
Why, are you trying to follow in his footsteps and get yourself cancelled?
He's not getting cancelled.
I don't know what's happening.
I watched it. It was a good special anyway. And I think he's just ignoring. People are very angry. Netflix.
People love to get angry.
People are like protesting outside Netflix. I'm like, I think there's worse things going on in the world.
Oh, absolutely. No, people love to. I feel like I don't know.
It's not the community anyway. It's activists. Activists are different from whatever group.
Yeah.
It's just their fucking mouthpiece who are always a dickhead.
Yeah, I don't quite know why people like to exist in an angry space. And this is coming from somebody who I can get angry at things, you know? I mean, we all can, but like...
No, if your cause is just about you being angry, then you just need the controversy to make your existence matter. It's like, no one gives a fuck. I bet you most trans people don't give a fuck. Or the LGBTQs or whatever the fuck. They probably don't give a fuck. Who cares? It's just online activists. I mean, the whole thing is like Dave Chappelle's doing it, and then they're feeding off each other anyway. He probably knew this was going to happen. It's all a fucking marketing ploy. Really. It just generates more watches. And then people feel like they're important because they're fucking trying to get Netflix to take down his special.
God, censoring. That's
yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of the new thing, right? Like, you can't say that. You can't put that somewhere.
Yeah, but it's been like that for a while. We should tell the people that I met Jude Law.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm a gardener.
Okay.
And I do a lot of rich people's gardens.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gardening, and I knew it was Jude Law's house. And
how'd you know? Who told you?
I've known it's his house for a while. I just never was in there.
Why? Because you've been watching him?
No. You know what? And he's very underwhelming in real life.
What does that mean? It
means he looked great. And then as soon as I was literally looking at him, and I was digging a plant in a hole. He said hi, I said hi. He brought his whole fucking family out to talk to my colleague about what trees they wanted. He's got a baby. He's got loads of babies with different women. Do you know that?
Yeah, I do.
Jude Law's like a black guy.
Yeah. Oh, God.
His house is amazing. And it's only one of his houses, you know. And his missus is like, she's probably 10 years younger. Big, lanky, blonde, tall thing. Kind of... Not a real hottie, but I think he's been true. I think he's probably busted all the hotties that he just wants a fucking kind of a gangly model type who's a philanthropist, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, a rich philanthropist. And as I said hi to him, and then I went back to digging in a little plant, not even doing a good job, but I was hiding in the bushes. I ate all his apples, by the way. I ate all his apples. There's an apple tree in the back.
You ate all the apples off his apple tree? I
stripped all the most tasty.
Why didn't you bring any?
I couldn't. I wanted to. I wanted to bring some home. I couldn't do it. I had like 2 left, and I just could not.
Wait, you ate like all of his apples?
Literally the Garden of Eden kind of shit. It was the nicest thing I ever tasted.
You didn't bring me one apple?
No, Dave started eating the apples as well. I was going to plan and take.
You didn't bring me one apple.
Listen to me. There was it was a small apple tree. There's maybe 5 or 6 apples on it. I ate a few. Then I was like,
Oh, you don't think he's going to notice those apples are gone?
He's rich. He doesn't venture outside to the end of the garden.
I can't believe you didn't bring me one apple.
And then I think then Dave ate the ones I was going to plan on taking home. I saw Dave eating them. Then he got a taste of the apples, and then like, I mean, what can you do? They were beautiful apples.
Planning on taking home, you could have stuffed one in your pocket.
I had one stuffed in my pocket, and guess what? I fucking ate that, and I was like, I'll get another one off the tree in a second. And I see that horse over there eating them.
Not one apple for me.
But
your wife, appleless.
Yeah, no, they were beautiful. Eve was right. Just take the apple, eat it, fuck it. Who cares? Think about the consequences later. But
well, not for me. I didn't get any apples.
Well, you know what? Fucking Jude has no apples for his fucking kid and wife.
Well, because you stole him. You stole all his apples.
I actually left the apple cores under the tree as well.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But yeah, I was Googling him as I was looking at him.
They're going to starve because of you. And you know who else is going to starve? Me.
They're not going to starve. You might though. I was looking at him as I was Googling him. I was like, he looks amazing. And then I Googled his age and I was like, he's not that old at all. You know what? He seems like he's been around forever. He's like 48.
Yeah, I know.
I thought he was going to be like nearly 60. And I was like, for nearly 60, he looks amazing. And then I Googled, he goes, he looks about 48, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like balding and stuff.
No. He still looks.
Really?
He looks that age.
He was balding.
No, when I saw him in real life, so you know what I mean?
Okay, well,
Maybe he's got fucking plugs.
I would guess he got plugs.
Yeah, he's wearing tracksuit pants and fucking flip-flops and shit. They're just normal people.
Yeah.
I wish it was fucking... if it was Leonardo DiCaprio, I would have shit my pants. That's what I was thinking.
Shit your pants? That's the response? If you see Leonardo DiCaprio, you're going to shit your pants?
That doesn't seem like a real person to me, but Jude Law seems like... I couldn't even remember... Can you think of any of these movies? I couldn't think of any.
Closer?
Yeah, did we see that?
The Talented Mr. Ripley?
That's the one that was in my head just in case we talked. I was like...
What do you think he wants you to be like, hi, Talented Mr. Ripley?
Yeah, I was thinking if he was going to come over, I was like, do you want me to run some lines with you or something?
Run some lines with you.
Or do you want to call up Russell Brand, we go for a pint or something, you know what I mean?
Wow.
That would have been fun. But yeah, underwhelming. But yeah, he's in good shape. I'll give him that.
Well, I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. Jude Law seems like a person to me. Who doesn't seem like a person is Beyonce.
No, that does not seem like a person.
No, and I saw her in person, and she didn't look like a person.
She still looked good.
She looked insane. Yeah, her skin was like, I've never seen something that looked. It was like, it looked supple but plastic. It was just.
They probably get fucking foreign babies flown in and slaughtered.
It was insane.
She was
blood. Glowing. She was glowing, like actually glowing, sparkling. Her outfit was crazy. Everything. Her hair. I was like, you're not of this earth.
When did she like Dave Chappelle special?
Yeah.
I mean, she's black. You got to save the black people.
I don't know. I bet she has like PR people telling her where to go.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine? It seems so stressful to have to like. You just can't be a person. I guess it's hard to be a person these days anyway because everybody has Facebook and you're like, hi, I'm a person. They're like, I don't like the way you're personing yourself. Like, no, but it's such a...
No, it'd be shit to be super famous. It would suck.
I don't.
That's why all the good ones kill themselves.
Fair enough. Yeah, actually, I would say you're not wrong in that one.
Oh, I read a story in the paper earlier. I want to see what you think of it. It's in Nottingham. Some guy woke up in the morning and someone had wrote on his bathroom mirror, I will kill you.
Wow.
And a smiley face. This made the news, right? And then I was thinking, okay, if someone got in while he was asleep, wrote that and got out again, that's creepy.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
But then there's nothing else to it. Literally nothing else to it. It was written on his glass shower screen. It was like, and there's pictures of suspects. So someone was over in his house, wrote in his mirror, and he went and tattletaled to the police, and now he's in the paper.
Tattletale to the police.
It's nearly Halloween.
What do you suppose?
That could have been such a better story if he got murdered.
Oh, so you think he shouldn't have said shit just so we could have something better to talk about?
No, because I'm thinking he actually had a house party and someone wrote that on the thing and he called the cops. I think it's been a slow day in the news. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's, isn't that Norm Macdonald joke that you were going to try to retell or whatever? Or you did retell?
No, let's not talk about that. I bombed that joke after he died. That's like shitting on someone's gravestone.
He's fine. I think he forgives you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. God, You said that like there's a real chance he even knows you told the joke.
Well, I don't know. But if there is a heaven, he went there for sure. He got in.
How do you know that?
Because he's a God-fearing man.
He's a God-fearing man? How do you know that?
Because I fucking know Norm.
Okay, but how do you know he got into heaven then?
If there is a heaven, he got in. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because he's a God-fearing man.
That doesn't automatically mean you get into heaven.
That's the fucking rules they stipulated in the book.
If you fear God, you get to go to heaven.
Fear, respect, follow the rules. That's what I mean.
How do you know he followed all the rules?
Because he...
And what are the rules?
Don't kill people.
Don't kill people. Those are the only rules.
Don't kill people. Don't... I don't know if rape's even in there. I actually don't know. Don't covet your neighbour's wife. Does that mean don't touch her up? He used to gamble. I don't know if that was in the rule book either.
That's funny that you say that. I was at... some of the funniest moments in life, I think, are just sort of those passing moments that you have with people. And I was at Top Secret, and I was talking to one of the...
Don't boast.
Well, fine. I was at a comedy club.
Okay.
And I was talking to... Or like one of the guys who works there, he was like carrying, a tub of... glasses or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, cum. A tub of cum.
Glasses.
He was carrying a tub of cum.
Glasses makes more sense.
Glasses filled with cum.
Okay.
They were filled with cum, but everybody drank the cum, so they were kind of cum-splattered glasses. So he was carrying a tub of cum-splattered glasses. And I was like, hi, how are you? Da-da-da. And he was like, I'm awful. And I was like, why? And he was like, I quit gambling, and now my life has no meaning. And I was like, that's the opposite. He's like, no, I have nothing to do. And I was like, well, are you saving money at least? He was like, no. I was like, I don't know.
He should get into drinking.
Yeah, I wonder. Maybe he does already. They do like to drink in this country.
I think I
he's not from here, though.
Drinking over gambling always. People
like to combine them.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Tricky.
But then again, very fun at the time, I imagine.
No, I've never found gambling fun. I get very anxious at the idea of losing.
No, losing sucks. But winning is fun.
Winning is fun.
But without losing, the winning wouldn't mean anything. So,
Did I ever tell you about the time my kind of grandma, she's not my grandma, but she is my grandma, tried to teach me a lesson about gambling?
What you said, don't do it?
No, yeah. Well, we had gone, it was in Reno. We had gone to see a Broadway show in Reno. And, but of course it's in a casino because that's what everything is in Reno, in a casino. And we were leaving and she was like, when you gamble, you lose. You lose. Most of the time you lose. And then I've definitely told this on this podcast. She put a nickel in the nickel slots and pulled the thing. And of course, jackpot.
And she won.
Yeah, she won. And
so
then she gave me all the nickels and she was like, you give that to the church. And I was like,
yeah, good one.
That didn't happen. But
well,
she was a great lady.
Yeah, no, that's fucking that's right, backfired. We have to mention the people who
our Patreon people. Actually, I really wish we would have opened with that because
we don't need to open with it.
No, I think I would like to say thank you.
Okay, let me just get
What? You're not even speaking into the mic.
I'm just trying to find something so I don't fuck it up.
Well, so, thank you for the Patreon support. It does mean a lot.
Yeah,
we do the best we can. And
we're going to try, we're going to be more consistent.
Oh, he's making a declaration.
No, it's been fucking crazy.
We were crazy.
We were
out of town.
And then I work on the weekends at the moment and shit.
And, so whatever. We're going to, I guess, make more of an effort. I don't know what that means, though, really. But, so I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say, yes, the Patreon people, you make this possible. Thank you to each and every one of you. These are the people who donate $5 or more a month. Mm-hmm. And I'll start with Mr. Cool Guy. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chicken House.
Thank you.
Thank you. Niall.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Damo.
Thank you. Thank you, Damo. I'll see you at Christmas, Damo.
Kev.
I'll see you at Christmas, Kev.
Thank you. And I think you...
Sorry, I said that .biz.
I said that
.biz. Go check it out. He's got a newsletter. Very funny comic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we got some people in the lower tiers. We also thank you. If you have an extra $1 or $3, please feel free to support.
To give it to Africa. What are you going to do? Argue with that? They should have nothing. What? I know this is counterproductive for myself as well. But
okay. And yeah, thank you. It'd be nice support the podcast. Is there anything? I mean, look, I got a writing session. We're at 49 minutes.
Oh yeah, well I gotta go to a show anyway.
Oh well, who's bragging now?
It's not a good show.
Okay, well I'm not jealous anyway. So, ha 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 ha.
Ha ha ha. We'll pick up next week and do a full hour.
Don't highlight more that we didn't succeed. Is there anything else you want to say? How was Ireland?
It's lovely. I'm going back at Christmas.
You're going back at Christmas.
Oh yeah, you're coming. Right?
Wow, don't seem so excited for me to meet my in-laws that I've never met.
Yeah.
Since we got married during a global pandemic and nobody could come to our wedding, and
it
and
all
the whole thing
happened
was
so slow. I forgot to catch up on it. But yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, I'll introduce you to the local cuisines and culture.
I hope I get one of those chicken shit filled sandwiches.
It's a hot chicken roll. Don't you fucking dare.
Are you gonna strike me?
Yeah, it's part of my culture.
Great. I mean, let's
Bring your
assimilate.
face closer. I'm tired.
So yeah, we're gonna go to Ireland. That'll happen.
Yeah, for 4 days.
Really, you seem very morose about the whole thing.
I'm morose because I got a fucking bad message. It's about my work arrangements tomorrow. It's not ideal.
Are you with the guy
No,
who shits himself?
No, I'm not with the guy who shits himself. But I'm with. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna have to do some messaging.
Okay. All right. Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
May love be with you.
May it be with me.
And also with everyone else.
Hakuna Matata.
This American Irish life.